It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at U-Like, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. U-Like. With Ease US, make studio-quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high-quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional-grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
Oh, it's a big day here for us at the Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovacics. Also like to thank our sponsors, Sequoia Family Ford, D1, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers. Remember, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, they do a tremendous job. I've had experience with them personally. D1, that's where I've gotten swole once upon a time. I got to work on that again. Sequoia Family Ford, if you're in the area, out towards west, stop in. Just literally, if you're in the market for a car, dip your toe in the water. Their customer service and the cars they have over there, you might end up plunging into the water, and for very good reason. But if you're looking for a car, that is the spot to go. And, of course, Slovacics. You can't beat it. Thank you to them for presenting this show. We're going to start off with an interesting segment here. It's a new segment. It's called Game Winning Drive, brought to you by Sequoia Family Ford. And this is a breaking news segment now. Just so you know, in segment 2, we have college basketball recruiting expert and NBA draft analyst, Paul Biancardi from ESPN. He's going to join us. Baylor fans, you're going to really like what he has to say about Tunde Yesufu. But again, I mentioned breaking news, and this was legit breaking news. Andrew Marchand from The Athletic reported this morning. I woke up to this tweet. Marchand, once upon a time, really helped me out when I was in a jam with one of the football games that I broadcast. He is a sports media writer, and he is always breaking big-time news. Marchand says that Robert Griffin III, let's read the tweet. After being fired by ESPN, Robert Griffin III is expected to be hired by Fox Sports as its number 2 game analyst. The Athletic has learned. Now, a little more detail on this. This is a college football position. So he's the number 2 game analyst for college football. I'll get into the article here just to give you the exact detail. So the sources are telling Marchand that the former Heisman winner is expected to be hired by Fox. Griffin 35 would replace Brock Heward as the network's second highest college football game analyst. Heward announced he was leaving the booth to be an assistant coach for his son's high school team. His loss, our gain, right? Griffin is expected to team with play-by-play announcer Jason Benetti. Benetti's awesome. If you saw him walking down the street, you wouldn't take him for this, like he's got this amazing, voice. He's great. You know who he is right when you hear him. Fox declined to comment. The deal is anticipated to go through, but a contract has not yet been signed. This is something I'm familiar with. When ESPN, not because I've been let go, but I'm just familiar with this. When ESPN lets go of an employee under contract, it continues to pay the person, but does have the right to block them from other moves. The network let go of Griffin in August of last year on the eve of football season. In fewer than 4 years since he last played in the NFL, Griffin had an up-and-down broadcasting career. In the summer of 2021, he aced game analyst auditions with both ESPN and Fox. He did Monday Night Countdown. And even while at ESPN, Fox showed some interest in Griffin when the network and Reggie Bush, one of its top analysts on the college pregame show Big Noon Kickoff, had a contract dispute in 2022. Fox almost hired Griffin to replace him. So this is big news, huge news for us. And I can tell you right now, we're talking about the NFL draft tonight. Remember, Robert, Heisman Trophy winner, as was mentioned in that article, was picked second in the 2012 draft. The Redskins basically mortgaged their future for him. And he didn't disappoint in his first year. Second year was tough. And then, we all know how it went, but injuries early in your career can do that to you, especially when you're a certain type of player. As an analyst, RG3 is wildly talented. I can't imagine having a better in-game analyst, really, on the college football level. I think he's as good as Kirk Herbstreit with his analysis, and his experience of the college game is still fresh. Let's bring Scotty Swingler in here because this situation is near and dear to his heart. I know very much so. Scotty, you saw this news today. I broke it to you.
You did. I had not seen that yet.
As Andrew Marchand broke it to me. How do you feel about it?
I'm very excited. I'm very excited for RG3. I think he belongs in a booth. I thought he was so good at it in his time in ESPN. I was a little surprised Fox didn't scoop him up sooner, but as you said, we don't know quite all the details behind how that was going to work. This is great. I think it's great for Fox, great for him. I made a little comment to you. I've thought since they scooped up, and this was, probably almost a decade ago now, but whenever they first scooped up Cowherd and Skip Bayless immediately upon their exits from ESPN, I was like, oh, Fox is going for it. Like they're going neck and neck with ESPN in this coverage stuff, and I think they continue to reap the benefits of ESPN letting really talented people go, and this is good for everybody.
So this segment is the game-winning drive, brought to you by Socorro Family Ford. Is this a winning drive play?
Yeah.
You think made by Fox?
Yeah. Yeah, and in fact, it looks
I
like
I think it fits the segment very well.
It does. It looks like Bear the Truth agrees with me. This will take Fox to the next level. And Scotty B, the Baylor King, says, so glad for RG3. So I think the consensus very quickly is it is a game-winning play and drive for Fox and Robert. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. Now, I also believe, first of all, Robert Griffin, I know you've had some interaction with him. I have as well. And he's an amazing dude to be around. And he's obviously, like I said, wildly talented on the football field, in the broadcast booth. He is a uniquely qualified person to talk about college football. And he's uniquely talented. He's just, look, some people just have special gifts. He's one of them.
Yep.
Okay. The way he treats people, the way he's able to articulate his points so quickly and just get them in the game. And his delivery is always something that's special. There was some stuff, at ESPN that folks didn't take too kindly to. Nothing egregious, but I think enough is enough. He has a little bit of a diva in him, maybe, as people have said. I've never experienced that, but I've heard about it. And I heard that was part of the reason that ESPN and RG3 found themselves at odds. And I wonder if, I love to talk about spirituality and God. I wonder if what happened at ESPN was sort of a teachable moment for him. And he may be a little different. And that's, sometimes this happens. Like, Fox is quite, I think, likely to not only get this amazing broadcaster, right, with this amazing experience that he can lend awesome perspective for college football analysis, but also they might be getting the best version of our RG3. After that situation at ESPN, maybe that's something that he can learn from and be like, there's things I can be a little better at. He's the kind of guy that I think is reflective.
I think all of us who are emotionally intelligent, and I think RG3 is, learn over time.
Oh, do we ever?
And you and I have these stories, right?
Yeah.
And grow professionally over time. And I think that's not even a statement about RG3's character. It's just as you grow and go through different experiences professionally, like, you get better. And so I agree with you. Bear the Truth sarcastically says, or was it a teachable moment for ESPN?
Oh, look
we'll
at
see.
these.
when Fox's ratings start to climb a little bit on RG3's calls, we'll see if ESPN learns.
And I have no official knowledge as to why they parted ways.
No,
heard whispers about that, and it was nothing egregious. It was basically like, hey, RG3 was, you have those meetings with coaches and stuff on a Friday before a game. And sometimes he would miss those or like stuff like that. It's not like he was a no call, no show, but he just wouldn't be there for those, which is if you're in that and that's the only thing you do, it's just not something you would ever miss.
And
here comes Scotty pushing back.
If I can reflect on how ESPN chose to use RG3, they kind of gave him a unique role in that they wanted him to do NFL and college football. And I think that's cool. He played in both. He was good in both. But I think the guys that really excel do one. The big exception being when Amazon Prime hired Kirk Herbstreit to do NFL. He's doing phenomenally. But most of these guys, I always thought it was strange. Let's have RG3 do the college games on Saturday, but then do Monday Night Countdown on Monday, and then in between we'll have him on Get Up talking NFL.
First Take.
We'll have him talking college football. I think they didn't quite know. I can imagine RG3's probably going man, guys, I'd love to be at this meeting on Friday, but I'm prepping for Monday night, or I'm I feel like he had a lot of plates.
Well,
so I loved it. I loved it for Fox initially. Maybe he ends up on, what's their show called? I'm so Good Morning Football. No.
First Things First.
No.
Yeah, I think so, right?
No, what's the college game day competitor? With Matt
Big
Leiter?
Noon Kickoff.
Big Noon Kickoff. That will never compete with college game day.
And by the way, remember, you mentioned Jason Benetti, just knowing the play-by-play game and sports media like that, like I know. He called, I think, at least 2 Baylor games last year. So RG3 will probably be calling some Baylor games.
Yeah, and Fox does a lot of Big 12 games, so that tracks. No, but what I was going to say is I think I love the report so far that it's not like he's going to be in studio shows. It's like he's going to call football games.
Yes.
Frankly, he's trying to grow his own podcast, the Out of Pocket with RG3, and so it might even be that he was like, I don't want to commit to a 6-day work week. I need to keep doing my podcast. So it might just be that hey, okay, great, you're in the booth.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an occasional appearance on Big Noon Kickoff, and then as that grows, maybe there's a bigger role for him to step into. I think that's a good way to approach it if you're RG3.
No, I think you're exactly right, and I think now you see the success of his podcast, and that this move gives that podcast a little more punch again.
It does.
You got RG3 back on linear TV.
And gives him access.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got access because he's played in the league. He's got all these relationships.
Yeah.
But, now you work for Fox Sports as well. It just gives you more.
Yeah. So props to RG3. Awesome dude. Happy for him. Scotty's happy. Definitely a winning drive, a game-winning drive, brought to you by Socorro Family Ford. If you're in the market for a car, go see our friends out there. Tell them the Pete Sousa Show sent you. I don't know. Well, that won't get you a discount. It might get you, a better handshake and a bigger smile. But all that aside, you'll definitely get a good experience in the as far as trying to buy a car, and you'll also you might come away with a new car. So keep that in mind if you're in the market. All right, we're coming back next with Paul Biancardi, ESPN College Football and NBA Draft Analyst, or ESPN College Basketball Recruiting Analyst and NBA Draft Analyst. We ask him about Tunde Yesufu, right? One of Baylor's biggest recruits coming in this year, their biggest recruits coming in this year. He is red hot. He tells us why, and he also tells us where VJ Edgecombe just might be going in the NBA draft. The Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovacics. Back after this.
Did you know nearly all stock price changes of 10% or more result from a single news headline? These news catalysts create trading opportunities every day. All you need is a little help to reach out and take them. It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
OsleyMD.com. I've always had thin hair my whole life. It breaks off at a certain length. In the last 6 months, I've noticed it just really bad. I mean, you could totally see it. I wear a hat a lot. I tried several different products. My experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again. OsleyMD.com.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at GolfPartnerUSA.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GolfPartnerUSA.com. Golf Partner.
Since 2003, Bluehost has been empowering people to harness their brands online with innovative web hosting solutions. Trusted by over 2 million users, we're the longest-running WordPress.org recommended host. With Bluehost, you get a safer, better web experience, supported by the world's most popular site builder, and backed by our commitment to open source projects. Visit Bluehost.com today and take your website to the next level.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internix.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress. It's like a wearable hug for your nervous system that helps you calm down and feel better. The Apollo wearable will send gentle vibrations to your body, like a song you can feel instead of hear. You feel better, you sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Elevate your experience with Grenco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grenco Science. Take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at GrencoScience.com.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Engels 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
The show presented by Slovacics. I know our next guest knows a little something about that place. Paul Biancardi, ESPN recruiting director, also college basketball and NBA draft, college basketball recruiting and NBA draft analyst. Coach, great to have you back on board.
Yeah, we did this a couple of weeks ago, a month ago.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. We could have did it for 8 hours.
Well, the best part about that was that stuck out to me, and I know our viewers really enjoyed, was the insight you gave us into Cooper Flagg's personality.
Yes.
And it was really cool. We got a chance to talk about social media, how it affects some of the young guys today, and it was really insightful. People were super into that. But you also, as the season came to a close and the college basketball footprint got smaller, the rest of the country got to know Cooper Flagg, and it was really clear everything you said was a bullseye.
Yeah, he's the real deal. I mean, he's clear-cut number one. He's pure. He's simple. He's going to make any franchise win in time. Not going to happen right away, but there isn't anything he can't do or won't do during the course of a game to help his team win. He's the ideal number one pick.
A question off the top, just this is kind of your basketball acumen. He misses that shot against Houston, right? Now, I don't think that'll affect him as a pro, right? Like, you know, maybe it would have been better if he made it, right? You go back to like the MJ, you know, in 82. But do you think he'll be answering that question for the rest of his life, like, or talking about that for the rest of his life, or no?
I think in his mind, he's going to hold on to it. He missed the shot, Pete, as a junior in the Chipotle Nationals championship semifinal. He missed a bunny. And he was down for a long time. Came back to win the championship next year. His team went undefeated. So he's a bounce-back guy. So it will haunt him a little bit now. There'll be some questions early, but I don't think there's going to be many questions. I think he's going to think about it a lot more than the media will. The thing about him that I love the most, and we talked about him endlessly, is he's going to produce right away. Like number one picks, you always say, well, they have a lot of potential. They could be this. He's going to be one of the guys on his team right away. Like, you don't have to wait for him, and he's got upside. So he's the perfect balance. He's going to hold on to that missed shot for a little while, but eventually he'll let it go.
I love the bounce back background on that. Now I want to get to the top 100 coming in to college basketball. Of course, we're in Big 12 country. A lot of people, especially in Central Texas, Baylor fans, are revved up about Tunde Yesufu, and you talked about him coming off the Hoop Summit. You said there's a lot of heat around this young man right now.
I'm telling you, he has opened the eyes of NBA scouts more than anyone else. They knew about A.J. DiBonsa. They knew about Darren Peterson going to Kansas. They knew about Cameron Boozer. They were saying Tunde Yesufu to me. He's Anthony Edwards-like with his frame. He's 6'5". He is chiseled and explosive. The jump shot is starting to come around. But what opened the eyes of NBA scouts and opens the eyes of all scouts, plays with endless energy. I mean, I haven't seen a player play with this type of energy in a long time. Consistent energy, Pete. He'll go for the 50-50 ball. He'll look for the slam dunk. He'll guard the best player. He took on A.J. DiBonsa at the Hoop Summit. He'll take on any challenge, and he's going to be an inspiration of a person and a player at Baylor. You know, he plays with joy, and didn't Scott Drew write a book about joy?
He sure did. It's in here somewhere.
Yeah. It better be.
Yeah. So a little more on Tunde. I know you saw his Hoop Summit performance. You know, that was his first run with the big dogs on a national stage, at least, that I'm familiar with. Anything about that game in particular and his performance there jump out as a microcosm of who he really is, who you knew he was?
Well, he also jumped out at McDonald's in the practices the week before and in the game.
So let's start with McDonald's. I know you were there, boots on the ground.
Yeah, on the broadcast with our guy Ted Emmerich, our Texas guy.
Teddy.
Yeah. and Corey Alexander, the former McDonald's All-American.
Yes.
So there were two talented guys and me on the broadcast. But anyway, no, Tunde, he decided to play defense at McDonald's and also at the Hoop Summit. When I say play defense, I mean he was guarding A.J. DeBonsa, Peterson, whoever he can get his hands on in practice and in the games. Like, he plays unafraid, and he plays with real joy. But it's the energy level that impressed the NBA scouts. They were texting me during the McDonald's game saying, is he really this good? Because the jump shot started to come on in practice and in the McDonald's game. Same thing at the Hoop Summit. So now they're seeing somebody that they can kind of, put in a box, so to speak, and say, gee, looks like Anthony Edwards. He plays with real energy. Jump shot looks pretty good. I put him in the top 10. He was 15 in the country. I moved him into the top 10, which anytime you move into a top 10 in anything, you're really good. So he's come on as of late, had a fantastic high school career at St. Joseph's. He's an NBA candidate right now.
You're around these guys, McDonald's, right? You see them, like you mentioned about the practices. That's the best stuff, right? To take us behind the curtain. Yeah. You've been around this game for a very long time, around some of the best coaches and players in basketball history. Body language-wise, anything you picked up from Tunde that you noticed and you said, oh, okay?
Always has a smile. Except for when he plays. And he still plays with joy. He just doesn't smile as much. But when he walks into the restaurants, the hotel lobby, smiling, taking pictures with people, he's very accessible. He's very approachable. And Baylor fans are going to love that. And then when he gets on the court, it's all about business. But his body language, extremely positive. Everything is always upright. He's always got a smile. He figures out the challenges, and he takes on the challenges.
So what kind of impact do you think he'll have in the Big 12 as a freshman?
Well, I think he's going to start based on his performances, and he'll be a two-way player for Scott Drew, so he'll be able to guard and switch. Very switchable player. Strong enough to switch onto power forwards at 6'5", and definitely quick enough and athletic enough to switch on to point guards. So on the defensive end, I think he'll fit in real well. Offensively, he'll play a 2 or a 3. Okay, could play a small ball 4. You got versatility on offense as well. The jump shot opened the eyes of NBA scouts, okay? But it's not polished yet. It's not consistent yet. His greatest scoring is going to come at the rim. Finishing plays, lobs, and he'll get to the free throw line. He's not a shooter right now, but he made some shots, and he makes him very intriguing with his body. Great driver. Like, you don't want to stand in front of him and take a charge.
Yeah. A.J. DeBonsa, that's a guy I would never want to get in the way of. You've been watching him, and he's been on your radar for years now. But in these All-Star games, on these bigger stages, did you see him deliver the goods? Did he meet expectation? Because the expectations are here.
Yeah, number ones never meet expectations, right? They strive for expectations. I don't know if you watched the dunk competition, but he dunked over Angel Reese.
Yeah.
A.J. DeBonsa, that's trust in athleticism combined. She stood under the basket, and he jumped over her and pounded it home. It was great. By the way, Tunde won the dunk competition. So there's the kind of athlete he is. He beats A.J. DeBonsa in the dunk show. He's delivered. He's had some up and down moments, but he's delivered mostly because he is the best player in the class in terms of upside. Speaking to all the NBA scouts, if there was a draft today on the class of 2025, he would be the number one pick as of today. Now, that could change because of Peterson and Boozer, but he's 6'9", and he has the athleticism of a Tracy McGrady, of a LeBron James at the same stage. The athleticism is NBA-like right now. And he's a gifted scorer. He's got that takeover ability. Excellent defender when he decides to sit down and guard. He could do a lot of things on the floor at 6'9" that most guys can't do at 6'2", 6'3". So he has the guard skills, the NBA athleticism, and his ability to score the ball has really improved. Again, not a great shooter, None of these guys that I think we're going to talk about are going to be great shooters in college, but they're going to be capable enough. He's got a nice jump shot. But don't forget, Tunde, A.J. DiBonza, they never had to shoot the ball. They could get to the cup whenever they wanted. And then if they stop in the paint, they rise up and fire over defenders. So the jump shot has to improve. But I'll tell you what, man, all eyes are going to be on in Provo, Utah next season. He's dynamic. He's dynamic in the open floor. He's dynamic in tight spaces. He's really agile. He's going to be fun to watch. And Kevin Young, I think his team has built a nice group around A.J. DiBonza. They got the point guard, Rob Wright from Baylor. I know that hurts Baylor, but that really helps BYU. He is a proven and trusted point guard. They got Richie Saunders, the shooter. They're surrounding him with the right pieces, and the big kid in the middle, Kebakita.
What about what they're doing at BYU? I just want you to put on your college basketball analyst cap here, just strictly a collection of major talent. But you've got a guy who is the master developer of talent in Kevin Young, and he's got those NBA roots that can kind of put these guys, mainline them hopefully, right? They hope to the league. All that talent, only one basketball. How does that work out for a team like that? It's just going to be interesting now with the NIL and players kind of as we move into the house settlement to pay for play. But, you can really load up now, right? And I'll be really interested to see how the Cougars do next year. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the team is built around A.J., so they're not loading A.J. up with more talent like A.J. They're surrounding A.J. with talent that fits with his game. Rob Wright doesn't need to shoot to impact the game, though he can make open shots. Kebakita is going to rebound, score, screen, defend. Richie Saunders, he's going to space the floor for A.J. So Kevin Young and his staff decided, let's build around A.J., which you have to do. Then they have the big shot blocker coming in, the freshman, Xavion Staten, who can block shots, but he's painfully thin right now, but he gets a few minutes. So the team is built around him. Some other programs, sometimes they try to get a bunch of talented players like A.J. DiBonza and try to do it with talent and then returning players. Like I thought Duke did a masterful job with Con Knippel, Cooper Flagg, right? Those were the stars. They had the graduate transfers. They had some returning players. They had a nice formula. But when you look at BYU, they're building it around A.J. DiBonza, and I think everybody knows that and understands that.
That's a credit to Kevin Young. How do you see him coming through? Clearly a developer of talent. How is that NBA environment there that they've kind of created, right? The program's almost like an NBA organization, and it's very attractive to some of these young recruits. Have you heard that on the recruiting trail, that has become a hot place? We talk about the money, but I truly do believe a lot of these guys are attracted to that NBA aura that is around Kevin Young.
There's no question about it. A.J. DiBonza told me, and he said it publicly, he had a chance to go play for coaches that put guys in the NBA. Kevin Young has coached NBA players. Big difference. That's what A.J. DiBonza wanted, somebody who's coached in the NBA. So he found his perfect match. He found the NIL, which was tremendous, and he found somebody who's coached in the NBA. It all worked out perfectly for A.J. and Kevin Young and BYU. I mean, yeah, you can have all the money in the world. If you don't have the right head coach that can run a team and manage a team and organize things, it's not going to work. You can't buy yourself to championships. You can buy yourself to talent. And I'll tell you something else you can't buy, Pete. You can't buy chemistry. You can't buy togetherness. And you can see the way Kevin Young gets his team to play together on the offensive end. And that's huge. The chemistry is so big when you get to February and March. Talent is a must, but you're not going to win at a high level without chemistry and togetherness. And I think he fosters that from his time in the NBA.
Well, covering the Big 12 this season, I don't think Bill Self would argue that chemistry was an issue sometimes at Kansas. They have a guy like Darren Peterson coming in, who is one of the best recruits in all of college basketball, certainly coming into the Big 12. What have you seen from him that has made you say, oh, this guy is something special?
He's a stud. He's a star. If it wasn't for A.J. DiBonza, he'd be number one in the class. In fact, most classes, he would be number one. Think about this, Pete. He's 6'6" as a scoring guard. He's got to move himself to a point guard, but he can handle it because he can read the game. 6'11" wingspan. You put that on the defensive end at the point of attack on the ball. He is great on the offensive end when it comes to pick and roll offense. I track Synergy a lot, and he scores 50% of the time in high school in pick and roll situations. So he does a great job of reading the game, playing the game, never gets rattled. I mean, he could have played at Kansas last year and maybe pushed them past Arkansas. Who knows? I mean, he's that good, and he's that poised. He's composed, scores at will, gets to his spots. I think he's going to have a Cooper Flagg-like effect at Kansas. I really do. Now, it depends what Bill does to surround him, with other talent. I know they got a lot of transfers coming in, and thank goodness they got the big guy back, Flory Badunga.
Yeah.
They needed him in the middle. You need a stud, a star in the middle that can protect the rim and rebound and be a presence in college basketball on both ends of the floor. You got Trey Wade coming in from Illinois, I believe, Melvin Council from St. Bonaventure. So you put the right team around Darren Peterson, he can put the team on his back. He's that good.
When you talk about these recruits coming in, Chris Senack is someone who I think folks were surprised that he ended up going to Houston. And he is going to be such a blessing for Kelvin Sampson in that program. Just in the some of the film that I've seen, it's like he's a real eye opener. Being around him, what does he bring to a Cougar program that needs an influx of young talent now? With you got Jawan Roberts moving on. That's a big hole to fill. I don't want to say can he fill it because that's putting a lot on him. Yeah. But what can he do in his freshman year?
Well, first of all, they lost a ton of experience, but they come in with mega talent as a freshman class. This is a top 5 recruiting class for Kelvin Sampson. When we talk about, the Big 12 has, 7 5-star players. 2 of them are going to Houston. So Chris Senack Jr. is one of them. He's 6'10". He hasn't even scratched the surface yet. I mean, this guy's going to be like a piece of clay for Kelvin Sampson. Bouncy with great hands, agile inside, can score at the rim, can score at the paint. He'll be a shot blocker. And he's 6'10" with a 7'3" wingspan. So you got to give Kelvin Sampson some time just to mold him on the defensive end, right? Get him to get down in his stance and play aggressive defense the way Houston plays. When that happens, you're going to see Houston's defense next year take a step. It may take a step back because they lost all the experience. When you lose experience, it usually shows on the defensive end first. This kid is loaded with lottery-type talent. He shoots threes. Now, I don't want him shooting a lot of threes at Houston next year, but he's capable to shoot the three. I mean, you're going to see him pick and pop and then drive it to the basket at 6'10" and go, oh, my goodness, did he just do that? And then he's going to go in the post. He's going to jump hook you up and under. He scores a little bit from all 3 levels, and he can be a presence on the defensive end with that 7'3" wingspan. Great athlete. Tremendous recruit for Kelvin Sampson. Kelvin takes talent as well as anyone, if not the best, and turns them into defenders. I haven't seen many coaches do that.
Well, you're exactly right. And being around him, he's a unique blend, right? Of teacher, mentor and coach, hardcore coach, right? At times, but so you get a guy like Senack Jr. in there. What's Senack Jr.'s commitment level? What you know about it so far as it relates to 1-year guy, 2-year guy, 3-year guy, because we know Coach Sampson thrives off the development, and so do the players playing under him. They thrive off being able to work under a legend like that. Is this a guy who might stay 1 or 2 or 3 years, or at least 2 years?
Well, the problem is this. He's so talented and Kelvin Sampson's so good, he's probably going to have to go after 1 year. I mean, as soon as he has a couple of double-doubles, the NBA is going to jump right on it. They already have him on their radar. Okay, I've talked to scouts about this class ad nauseum already because they're trying to get ready for the college season. If you can believe it, they haven't even drafted in June yet, and they're looking ahead. But that's what scouts do. That's what recruiters do. They do their homework. When I talked to Chris and his dad, he told me we wanted hard. We wanted to be coached hard because when I interviewed him, I said, now you know who you're going to play for. You know how demanding it's going to be. And he says, I want hard. I need hard. And Kelvin Sampson's perfect for me. So he totally understands what he's getting into. That. Yeah, he knows what he's getting into. When I talked to his dad said the same thing. So, I mean, I've known Kelvin since he coached at Washington State. And I was at Boston College, and we played him in the 8-9 game, and we beat him. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, but you talk about holding on to games. He says that game still bothers me. he said that to me on the recruiting trail. Like, this is a guy who's the ultimate competitor with Kelvin Sampson. So he's going to do wonders for Chris Cenac Jr. And what's going to happen is he's going to play himself into a lottery pick.
Now, we talked about, I love talking Big 12. We talked about the top 3 guys coming into the Big 12, but 16 of them, the top 100, are headed to play at Big 12 schools as of right now. Who do we not talk about that you are hearing about a lot? You know, I mentioned it earlier with Tunde, a lot of heat around him. Any other player that's experiencing kind of momentum upwards?
There's also 2 kids going to Arizona.
There you go.
Koa Pete.
Oh, yeah.
6'8" animal going to Arizona. He is the ideal power forward. Won a state championship. I mean, the kid just wins. He competes. He rebounds. He played USA basketball, won a gold medal with Cameron Boozer and A.J. DiBonsa. He knows how to be part of a team. They also have a guard coming in, Braden Burries, a 6'5" guard who can really fill it up from the mid-range and deep. Caleb Love leaves Arizona. Braden Burries comes in. He plays with Jaden Bradley. Love those 2 going to Arizona. Keep an eye on Sean Abayev, the 6'7" shooter going to Cincinnati. One of the best shooters in the country. He's got great size. He was a top 30 prospect in the class.
I love it. Coach, let's do one more. I know you got a busy schedule, but I got 2 more for you. I want to talk about the NBA draft for a second, and then I do want to go back to one more Baylor recruit. But VJ Edgecombe, a Baylor product, right, who's now going to the NBA. I just saw him recently on an ESPN mock or CBS mock that had him going 3 to Charlotte. You know, kind of early, right?
Yeah.
But it's, you know, we haven't even done the lottery yet. But he's top 3 right now. Where do you see a guy like him fitting in the NBA?
Two-way guy. A guy who's got great they love his athleticism as I do. I moved him to number 3 in the class. You talk about number 3. I don't think he's number 3 in this draft. I have him more at 4, possibly 5. He doesn't have a skill that translates just yet. And his motor, which was sensational in high school, but it was off and on at Baylor. I mean, it was good, but they're looking for Tunde type motor in the NBA, right? That's how you separate yourself. So they'd like to see a little bit more motor from him. But when I saw him in high school, the 3-point shot really came along. His drive game is a straight line drive, right? He can switch 1, 2, and 3. He's an NBA athlete. He's going to elevate a franchise, and he is a phenomenal, not good, phenomenal young man. And you talk about humble. Tunde, Yesufu, very humble. Same thing with VJ Edgecombe. These guys know where they came from, and they know what they want. They know how to get there, and they understand humility as part of the process. I see him somewhere 3 to 5, possibly. I'm in Charlotte, Pete. I'd love for him to come here, but I see in the draft, I see Cooper as 1 as of today. It's a 50-50 split between Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper for 2. I think the other guy will be 3, and then I think you got VJ Edgecombe right there at 4, and the Texas man, Trey Johnson,
he's
at
awesome.
5. I mean, those are the top 5, in my opinion, and also, more importantly, in the NBA scouts and GMs that I've spoken with. The order, could be any one of those 2, but the draft starts at 2.
All right, Igor Demon, out of BYU into the NBA. We talked about Kevin Young and his development. How do you see him sort of mixing into the NBA, and where do you see him going in the draft?
I'm going to make a pitch right now for him to go back to BYU. Go back and play with A.J. DiBonsa. And then you'll up your stock, and you have a chance to win a national championship, but that's not going to happen. Great passer, great size, vision, everything. Physical toughness is a question, but that comes over the course of time. And I love the way he moves the ball, passes the ball, gets his team in offense, runs the transition game very well. Like the throw-ahead pass is there by Igor. The jump shot is not. And that's true for a lot of these guys because they're so talented. They just don't spend enough time, game reps, shooting jump shots. They get in the gym and shoot, but shooting is like putting in golf. I mean, you've got to spend 10,000 hours to master a jump shot, and you still don't know if it's going in. So that's his deficiency, but his upside is the size, the passing, the vision, and the ability to move the ball. And that's a big thing in the NBA. You may not get the assist, but can you move the ball? Can you get that hockey assist? That's important. He has the vision and the willingness to do that. I see him right outside the lottery, right about 14, 15, 16.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
A lot of money in those spots.
The money's not bad. All right, last one.
Maybe more money at BYU, though, if you go back.
All right, how about our guy that just came to Baylor? We got Andre Iguodala II. And he's not a guy that's like an elite prospect, right? But what do you know about him? There's excitement, and I think a lot of it is kind of can be attributed to the name, but still a guy who, just looking at him and reading what guys like you have written about him and watching what they've said about him, there's a lot of excitement around him.
There should be. I mean, he's a typical freshman, right? Talented, young. He's got the genes. He's got a good frame. He's got to fill out. He's not there yet physically. Most freshmen are not. Tunde is. AJ DeBonsa is. Peterson is. So I think he's going to help Baylor in spots, but he's a guy that's going to develop over the course of 4 years. I'll tell you what he does. He plays the right way. His dad taught him well. He's a great teammate. He can score with versatility inside the arc. He's got a little bit of a jump shot that's there right now. He's a player that you're going to see get better over the course of time. And I'm sure with this recruiting process, he understands that he's a 4-year guy, right? You have to have self-awareness when it comes to recruiting as a player. And he has that. He's developed over the course of time in high school. You've heard about him a little bit, but not that much. It's going to be the same way at Baylor. Great teammate, great person. Scott Drew and his staff, I mean, they check all the boxes first when it comes to character before talent.
Coach, I mean, we check the boxes too with character guys, but you're just up there, same level of talent. It's character talent. It's awesome. I really do appreciate you taking the time and dropping some wisdom on us.
Well, thank you. I consider myself probably more of a character, but thanks a lot. I appreciate it, Pete.
Some of your boys do too, like Phil Pott,
Oh yeah, he's got me on speed dial.
Oh, that's my guy, dude. That's my guy. He speaks very highly of you. I don't know what you guys say to one another, but to me, he speaks highly of you.
Well, I pay him to do that. So.
All right, Coach Paul Biancardi, we appreciate it. ESPN analyst, draft guru, recruiting guru. Go check him out on social media. You can find him at Paul Biancardi. Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate the time.
All right, let's do it again before the draft. This was fun.
Done deal.
Dive into adventure with Scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who've dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust Scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at Scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but at a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at sarn.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
All right, the Pete Sousa Show is back. Scotty Swingler is chomping at the bit right now. He's got a response to Paul Biancardi, who I like to treat our guests well here, Scotty. So I hope it's not a biting response.
It's
with that sharp tongue of yours.
Oh yes,
it got you into so much trouble
no,
in high
it's
school.
just after hearing Paul Biancardi talk a little bit more about my friend Tunde Yesufu, I'm on the train.
Does that say Tunde on it?
It does. It does. All aboard, everybody. You got to get on the train now.
Hey, hopefully it doesn't make as much noise as those goddamn trains do coming through downtown Waco. I'm like, is somebody on the tracks every time? Like, isn't that horn for an emergency?
They just love doing it. They just love hearing themselves. But
all right, so what did you hear? Give me the number one Tunde slice of info you heard that got you jacked.
I think just hearing the confirmation. I don't know that he said any one thing I had not already heard.
Yeah.
About his personality, about his motor, about the defensive skill, offensive skill, even the buzz. But I think his just initial reaction when you said his name and he goes, "Oh, that's all I'm hearing about. Like that's all scouts are talking about."
And that was before we started. And I was like, hey, hang on.
Even then in the interview that we had up, like he's like, "Oh, let me tell you, everybody's talking about him." Like that's hell yeah. Get him on campus. Let's go. So I'm all about it. And look, our first passenger with me, Scotty B says,
I'm on it, baby.
On
Scotty
the
B.
Tunde train. Anyway, that's all. I just wanted to respond to Paul and say I'm all aboard.
Hey, I like that train. Looks good, dude.
AI, man.
That train looks good. You can send me that picture.
Okay.
I'm going to pop it up there with some of our social stuff. All right, so NFL draft tonight. I love how at the top of the show we got to talk about RG3 and how he's going back to, I guess, back on the field, right? We could say.
Back to the stadium.
Back to the stadium, back to the booth, being an analyst for Fox Sports on their second crew. If you're just joining us, he's going to be.
Let me raise your camera real quick before this next segment.
Problem.
Hold on. Scotty. Yeah, just a tad, I think, right? Yeah, perfect.
By the way, I ordered a Kelly Green Eagles helmet to put right behind me there. Boom, so you can stick it where it don't shine, Zach Burke and Scotty Swingler, Oilers and Cowboys and whatever, the Texans or whoever you like. Zach's excited about the Houston Rockets. Anyways, I said, pick number 2 for RG3 in 2012. And I was thinking this morning, because the Baylor possible NFL draftees, they're just not a ton of like heat around them, right? And to the point where, I'm not a draft analyst. I've called a couple Baylor football games, but like I don't have a real pulse on, the prospects in this draft class for them. So I asked Swingler to put together a list because he's the Baylor guy. And he knows Baylor football and the team inside and out. Of course, please bear with me. You can listen to on Sundays on the Rogue Media Network. That's Terrence Ganaway and Scotty Swingler, former Baylor football star Terrence Ganaway, and they break down Baylor history. Where's your bracket at?
We are headed. We are trying to determine the Final Four. And then, honestly, I'll just give you some inside baseball. I haven't announced this yet. I think we're going to hold the Final Four until the fall.
Ooh.
I think we've got about an episode or 2 left in us before we break for the summer. And we might just hold on to
you're going to have a lot of other stuff to talk about in the fall, right?
I do know.
All right. That may be here I am the program director. You might want to do a special show around the summertime to do the Final Four.
Maybe we need to.
Maybe we need to.
Scotty B's trying to guess my list.
All right, so, Baylor, but this isn't the best of all time, Scotty B.
No.
We will talk about.
Scotty B's got it right. He's guessing. He says maybe Garmin Randolph, Steve Linton.
Okay. Steve Linton I saw being kicked around. Give me your list, Scotty.
You want the list? Okay.
Yeah.
You asked for the list. Here's the list. This is my top 5 NFL-ready Baylor Bears going into tonight.
Okay.
Steve Linton is clearly, I think, the one guy who could very well be drafted, probably like a 6th-round grade at this point. But, like, you saw it on the field last year. Like, when he was in the game and healthy, he was truly a disruptive edge.
Yeah.
I think he's a value pick. Like, I think if he even goes 4th or 5th, I think you're getting good value. I think he really has the juice to play in the league. Trevin Mai, who we had last week for an excellent interview, I think is also a really, really legitimate guy who can make an NFL roster as a defensive lineman. Again, has all the tools. I think has the work ethic. I will say before I go through the rest of the list, those are the 2 that I think very well can make an NFL roster. This is one of Baylor's weaker draft classes.
Oh, for sure. That's why we're doing this, because
I don't say that to disparage these other guys.
No, not at all. But that's why we're doing this, because I want people to know.
I anticipate these next 3 will not get drafted. If they do, we'll be thrilled for them and cheer for them.
Yeah.
I do anticipate they will get signed quickly after the draft concludes and could also make a roster. Campbell Barrington, I think people forget. The big thing for him is he's played like 3 different line spots at Baylor.
Okay.
You could see that as a flaw. I think NFL teams are going to like that he can play guard. He came to Baylor as a tackle. I think he's probably got a shot to make a roster as a guard. I think that's real potential. Matt Jones, I think has a funny legacy at Baylor, because on one hand, where did he finish in tackles for the program?
I don't know.
I think he finished number 1 in like games played, because he's a 6th-year senior with the COVID stuff and all that. I think he probably finished top 10 in tackles. But I always felt, and I'd be interested in anybody watching's opinion, I always felt that Matt Jones' best position was as an edge. When he was a freshman and sophomore at Baylor, he was violently disruptive as an edge player, and then they kind of turned him into this middle linebacker, and he was good, but I never felt like he was just a dominant middle linebacker. He was not Terrell Bernard. He was not Bryce Hager, if any Baylor fans want to go back with me 10 years, 15 years. So I just wonder where he fits on an NFL roster. Granted, I didn't know Blake Lynch was going to make the NFL as a linebacker, and he ended up playing in the NFL for like 3 years. So very well, Matt Jones could get drafted.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, tell me.
That's my long shot. I'm going to make a guarantee that he's going to be on an NFL roster.
Let's go.
I think he's a guy that will get in camp, and I think people will be like, wow. I think that's who Matt Jones is. I believe that. And I hope that too, but I think he is one of those dudes who's going to end up in a camp and is going to be really hard for a coach to get rid of. He's going to give them a million reasons to keep him, and I think that at the very least, he's a practice squad guy.
Yeah,
with an NFL team.
And I would honestly guess if practice squads what we're talking about, I think all these guys are that are that potential level.
I don't know about Snacks, to be honest.
Here's why I put Snacks.
Snacks is a favorite of mine.
Here's why I put Snacks on here.
Yeah.
Because I really debated putting Snacks on here. Garmin Randolph I thought about putting on here. Gavin Byers I thought about putting on here as this 5th spot.
Mm-hmm.
There is a growing, and Jalen Petrie is probably the best at it in the NFL. And I think more and more teams are looking for this. There's a growing need for secondary players who can play close to the line of scrimmage but still be really, really good in coverage as well.
There you go. Yeah.
They are looking for more and more of those hybrid. Some teams are going to call them a nickel corner. Some teams are going to call them a third safety. But more and more NFL teams are not playing 3 linebackers on those sets, right? You've got usually your 4. On the defensive line, you've got 2 backers.
What the hell is the position? I can't think of it. The position that Baylor has to call. They don't call it a monster. They call it.
Oh, at one point it was called bear.
It's not a jack.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I should know this because I had this argument with someone of who should play for Baylor next season. But my point is, I think Snacks has a unique skill set where he could Star. Thank you, Scotty B.
Star. Yeah.
I think Snacks has a unique skill set where he can be that nickel corner in the NFL. I don't think he's a put him on an island and cover their best receiver corner. I don't think he's a safety in the NFL, but I think with the right team, I think the team that signs him is going to know, here's what we're getting, here's where he could fit. I think he could be a dark horse to make a roster.
I'm surprised you didn't do a little CYA, cover your ass, and just put Garmin Randolph on there, just as a just in case. Because if there's one dude, here's another prediction of mine, right?
Let's go.
If there's one dude on this that played for Baylor last year that no one is talking about at all, clearly, Scotty doesn't even have him on the list of the 5 best potential NFL players in the weakest class of all time. So we're talking about we're reaching for guys. He has the ability to be a star in the NFL.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
No, he doesn't. Pete, I'm gonna here's a please bear with me preview for this fall. To open, please bear with me. We're gonna do some preseason awards.
Yeah.
One of those awards that my buddies and I have been giving out for over 10 years now is called the Jay Lee Award.
Yeah.
Baylor fans will remember Jay Lee was a very, very highly touted receiver coming out of high school. He was 6'4", big, could run a 4.4 40. He had all the tangibles.
Garmin's 6'8".
I'm gonna finish Pete. I'm gonna finish. I let you finish. I'm gonna finish.
All right.
Jay had all the tangibles. Check. And every year before August, this is gonna be Jay Lee's year. Jay Lee's going to be the number 1 receiver in the Big 12. Jay Lee, at his best, was very good for Baylor.
Yeah.
And he was like a good number 3, okay number 2 receiver for Baylor for a couple years. Couldn't stick in the NFL. For 4 years, I've been listening to people talk about how good Garmin Randolph is going to be because he's so tall and he's so athletic. And Pete, he was mediocre at Baylor. He made some really good plays. He made some
amazing.
He made a couple of really outstanding plays. He did.
Yeah.
But he was never dominant on the defensive line. He cannot get past a bigger offensive lineman. Strength and perhaps I don't know. I don't know the guy. I don't go to practice. I don't know the guy.
Tenacity as a person, maybe.
That's kind of yes. Yeah. I don't he's one of those people. Here we go. Bear the Truth says Randolph doesn't have the dog to play at the next level.
He doesn't, but man,
Matt Jones has the dog.
Yeah.
I don't. Again, I'm not going to talk about a guy's
no,
mentality or character. I don't know that.
I got you.
But here's what I know. I know for 4 years he was my Jay Lee Award winner, and that it was. He's going to be so good. Oh, you just have no idea. We're going to move him over here. Oh, he's going to play this spot. Oh, he's going to do that. Yeah. He was fine.
Yeah.
He's an adequate starter in the Big 12. He's not an NFL player.
Come on, Garmin.
That's why he's not on my list.
Come on, Garmin.
And we can argue about this till the sun goes down, and then in August we'll see where he's at.
I don't think he'll be anywhere. But I'm saying if there's
you just said you thought he was
said he has the potential.
You said an NFL star.
I said the potential because I said if there's one guy in this class,
I already convinced him.
If there's one guy in this class who could just burst onto the scene, and it would make a little bit of sense,
It's
it would
Steve
be him.
Linton.
Okay, Steve Linton first. Garmer Randolph second. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Do yourself a favor.
That was fun.
Go to, it was a lot of fun. And you know more about this stuff than I do, so I do have to defer to you. Go to our social media and check out the interview with Mitt Winter yesterday. Put it up on Twitter. It got 290,000 or 270,000 watches on Twitter. I don't know too much about that, but people are thirsty for this because we talked about the house settlement, NIL. People want to know what's going on with that. If you're looking for any clarity, you got to check that out. It's a great interview, and he provides amazing insight. Paul Biancardi from ESPN said that to us, I think maybe on the air before we started, that was just something that he really needed to watch to be informed, because you can get all the, when somebody hits you with this huge document, oh, here's the house settlement. I'm like, what does that even, I would need somebody, if I read it, to break it down for me afterwards, because that's my dyslexia. But as far as a great way to digest and consume this information, Mitt Winter gave it to us yesterday. Sports law attorney, really breaks down what's going on with the NIL and the future of college athletics, and says everything's going to be okay. If you wanted to know that, that's your spoiler. We'll be back tomorrow. Cannot wait. The Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovacics. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to Paul Biancardi, of course, Scotty Swingler, and we will see you tomorrow.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference, because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me, and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
Sports.